Tapes, Episode 13, Little Green Monster. Derek could feel his pulse thumping through his body as his anger grew. He was in disbelief that Courtney would even flirt with another man, more or less right in front of him. Yet, there she was, seemingly shameless. She wore her wide, beautiful smile, puppy dog eyes that got whatever she wanted, and a cutesy stance to put a cherry on top. She hadn't gotten up from the table to get them more drinks. This didn't make sense. In over 5 years together, she never mentioned any problems with their relationship. In fact, they were out celebrating their new home purchase that night, and if things went well, he was planning to propose. But now? The entire script's been flipped as he watched her carry on a cheery conversation with some random douche at the bar.
Are you really gonna let 5 years go down the drain like that?
A sinful, snickety voice whispered from around. Derek glanced around, but didn't take his eyes off Courtney for too long.
Well, are you?
It asked. Derek couldn't figure out where the voice was coming from. He looked once more, but everyone around him looked occupied. He looked under the table, still nothing. Then, when he lifted his head, it sat in Courtney's chair, staring at him, stretching a wicked smile across its face. A small green devil, a green fire illuminated its eyes, its teeth lightly green, sharp and jagged. The body had a faint layer of green hair and claws for fingers. The long tail flared behind the creature, moving smoothly and seductively like a hypnotizing snake with a heart-shaped head at the end. It was exploring everything around it, as if it had a mind of its own. The creature was even kind of chubby, like a cute Byerley, all green, all over. Derek couldn't take his eyes off of it.
Answer the question, numbnuts.
It demanded. What the fuck? Derek fumbled.
What the fuck is right? You're watching your dream girl piss away 5 of the best years of your life, with more to come. Well, maybe. And you're more concerned about me?
It hissed.
No wonder she's talking with a real man.
You don't know me. I am a real man, Derek snapped back. The green monster giggled.
I know the most important thing about man, which means I know everything about man,
The creature replied, as it started floating around Derek, running its tail around his head and neck, sending shivers down his spine.
You're principled till you're forced to be. That's when you crumble. All of you.
It hissed. That's not true, Derek said.
Oh yeah? Then what are you gonna do about Courtney?
It asked. They both looked over at her, still smiling and happily conversing with the same man.
You just gonna sit here and take it? Hope she'll do the right thing? Things don't seem to be moving that way.
It said, as they watched the man and Courtney laugh. The man waves down the bartender.
Why hasn't she looked over here?
It asked. Derek's mind raced, but the truth is, he didn't know. The bartender walked over, and the man gestured for 2 drinks, then put down his credit card. Courtney intervened and said something to the bartender, who smiled and started preparing the drinks. The man turned back to her with a snicker on his face, and then did the worst thing he could have ever done. He rubbed his hand on her arm. Courtney's smile dimmed and she looked away, but the part that hurt Derek the most was that she didn't stop him, didn't pull away, just let it happen. Derek's heart tore to shreds, but then caught to fire as anger coursed through his veins.
We can't allow that, can we?
The devil whispered into Derek's ear. Derek's eyes stayed locked onto the man as he watched him pull his cigarette pack out, offer one to Courtney, who said no, and then excused himself for a moment and walked out of the bar.
Still feeling principled?
The creature snickered, floating around from one side of Derek's head to the other. Derek didn't need to say anything. He couldn't say anything. He couldn't even stop himself from getting up from the table to follow the man. He was trying to pump the brakes, but his body was on autopilot. Derek burst through the doors and saw the man walk down an alley. Derek trailed him and found the man pissing behind the dumpster while smoking on his cigarette. He marched up to the man and shoved him into the dumpster mid-piss. What the hell? The man snapped back, standing up to his feet and buttoning up his pants. The fuck is your problem? What the fuck is your problem? You think you can stick your dick in anything without consequence? Derek yelled back. What are you even on about? You talking about the bitch at the bar? he asked. She isn't a bitch, Derek yelled back. Oh, I see. Alright, look. I'ma pretend like you've had too much to drink and you got me mixed up, the man says, relighting his cigarette and turning back around to pee. He blows smoke out and mentions, besides, if that bitch is your girl, then I see why she was talking to me. She's obviously in need of a real man. Derek's pulse throbbed through his entire body, pumping so hard he could feel his eyeballs nearly popping out of his skull with every pulse. Before he realized it, he already had 2 arms around the man's neck, choking him from behind. The man tried his best to scratch and claw at Derek's face, but Derek's anger protected him. The man's energy started to weaken as the choke continued until Derek felt the searing pain in his face from the man pressing his lit cigarette into him. Derek was forced to let go from the pain, giving the man just enough time to turn around and tackle him to the ground. The man started overwhelming Derek with strikes. Derek tried fighting back, but he couldn't do anything but cover his face and head. As the relentless strikes came down, Derek stirred up some energy, recalled to his best ability, and swung upwards at the man. To his shock, the punching stopped, but it wasn't from his fist. It was from a knife that was forced into the man's stomach. Brian looked at the little green hand holding the knife and saw the little devil holding its other hand over its shit-eating grin. Brian's eyes widened as he realized what had happened. No level of rationalization mattered because it was already done. A rush of patrons and bystanders encircled the pair. The man slumped off Brian, and the knife glided out of his stomach like butter, with Brian's hand now grasping it. Brian looked around desperately for the creature, but it was nowhere to be found. Police sirens chimed in the background, drawing nearer as the crowd worried and hollered. Courtney pushed through the crowd to see Brian's crazed look, holding a bloody knife and a dead man next to him. "Brian, what did you do? What happened?" she cried, instant tears running down her face. "No, I didn't do... It was the... Brian scrambled around with the knife in his hand, still scaring the crowd more. He waved the knife around like a madman, trying to find the creature. "Did anyone see, like, the little green monster around here?" he asked around, people jumping away from the waving knife. "Little green monster, anyone?" The crowd disperses as the police arrive on scene. "Put the knife down!" one of the cops screamed with their guns drawn. Brian snaps back and realizes he's about to get turned into Swiss cheese and drops the knife. The police arrest him and start to drag him back to the police cars. "Guys, I didn't do this. It was the little green monster. Courtney, you gotta believe me. This dude was talking to you, and the little green monster told me to..." "That guy I was talking to? Derek. I was fake flirting with him to get us some free drinks. We're supposed to be celebrating tonight, on a budget," Courtney cried back. Brian looks back to see the little green monster sitting on the dead man, turning Brian manic. "It's right there, on top of the dead guy. That's who killed him, look," he cries as he starts getting manhandled by the police. The little green monster salaciously waves its claws at Brian, smiling from horn to horn, giggling before vanishing. Its giggle endlessly bounces around in Brian's head as the cops wrestle his flailing body into the back of the patrol car. And that concludes another journey into the dark world of the Terror Tapes. If you enjoyed the terror, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Join our growing legion of fear seekers, and together we'll explore the darkest corners of the unknown. Until next time, stay haunted.